Guys, this Bitcoin chart is giving me cause for concern. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about in this video. We're not even going to play around. We're going to go straight into it. So before then, ensure that you're following me on all my socials, on TradingView, on Twitter. Matter of fact, part of this video comes from a Twitter or a tweet that I had posted in September 2025. So this was 23rd of September 2025. And what did I say? I said I hate to be the one to say it, but Bitcoin is not going to go up forever. Very loud bearish divergence is screaming on the weekly time frame. At the time, Bitcoin was 112,660. Where are we currently with Bitcoin? Bitcoin is currently at 87,555 thereabouts. So it did play out. So it moved all the way down. Or let's use this one. So we had a major drop from somewhere around 112 all the way. It couldn't sustain 100,000, which is a psychological level of support. It couldn't support it, and so it came all the way down. So right now we are seeing Bitcoin struggling to stay supported around the 87,000 level. So what exactly am I concerned about? What exactly is the fear that I have? Well, there's something called fractals. So fractals have a habit of repeating themselves. So if you see a previous pattern in the past, there's a very high chance that it can repeat itself in the future. Okay, so here is this pattern that happened sometime between 2021 and 2022. There's a rising channel, right? So there's another one happening currently, and we are in 2025. So this whole formed between 2024 and 2025. Okay, so what am I so afraid of, right? What exactly is the problem? Okay, so now this is a high. This is a top, right? This was a top before it came all the way down. This was another top before it came all the way down. Exactly what we have. We have a top here that came all the way down. Have another top here that came all the way down. Okay, so this is a high and then a higher high, right? So this is a high and then a higher high. Okay, so we have that. What happened with money flow, right? So there was a lot of money flowing in right here. But guess what? Very tiny money flowing in here. What about here? Same thing. At this high, as in synchronizes with this high, there was a lot of money. And then what happened over here? There's less money. So this is a high and there's a lower high. Let's draw this out. I think it to make more sense. So you have a high and a higher high, right? I just want to show you how similar they're looking. Then you have a high and a higher high, right? And then what do we have at the money flow level? We have a high that is going down, a lower high. Same thing we have over here, a high that is going down. So what has this constructed? It has shown you a divergence, and it is called a bearish divergence. So when you have a divergence, pretty much what it says is that price action is going in one direction, and then an oscillatory indicator is going in another direction. So invariably something is lying. So it's either price action is lying or money flow is lying. In most cases, money flow doesn't lie, so price action is lying, right? So that's what we had here. Money flow was going down, price action was going up, and what happened? It dropped. What do we have here? Price action was going up, money flow is going down. What have we already seen? Price action is coming down. So what exactly is my fear? So if we look at this fractal, it does look like we are just somewhere around here. So just around here. So it looks like we are here, just around here. So what next? I'll tell you my second observation. Now, money flow is getting into negativity. Money flow entered into negativity just around this area, just here. What are we seeing right now? Money flow is going into negativity just around here. what is the optimistic possibility? Now, if you look at what happened here, price tried to reclaim a previous resistance. You can see price trying to go up, but it couldn't sustain it, and then it went all the way down. So there's a possibility that even though we are seeing prices at 87,000 right now, there's a possibility that price can try to ascend higher, maybe to the psychological level of 100,000. And if it is unable to reclaim 100,000, guess what is going to happen? It's just going to come back down. That's exactly what, if this fractal repeats, and don't forget, technical analysis is not a tool for prediction, but it's a tool for planning. Those are my definitions. So if that happens, if this fractal repeats, let me show you how low Bitcoin can drop. So the all-time high here was 69,000, just around 69,000, and then it dropped to this low, over 75% drop before it got to its all-time low. Okay, so what's happening, or what can happen, assuming this fractal repeats? Okay, we have an all-time high of about 125,000, and if it drops to minus 75, if Bitcoin does that, guess how low we are going to drop? We're going to drop to the level of about 30,000. Now, this is unbelievable. It's not something I'm willing to believe, but it's something I'm willing to consider, because if this fractal repeats, this is the level we might find an all-time low. But I hope that doesn't happen. But if it happens, it's important to plan for it. And that's what this video is all about. If we have a bounce for Bitcoin, if it's unable to surmount 100,000, I'm sorry to say, it most likely will go all the way down. It could find support around 69,000, but if it doesn't stay supported there, then I think it will continually go all the way down. But these are my thoughts. Neither here nor there. This is not predictive. What do you really think is going to happen? Right? Do you think it's going to drop all the way down, or is it going to find support around 100,000 and continue upwards? This is for you to decide and for you to tell me in the comments area. All right, so I'll see you in my next video.